It's a new month, so it is a new round of Patreon shoutouts for the people who have supported the channel in the last month or so. So thank you very much to Nate M for joining the Patreon campaign at patreon.com/TJOmega. As always, it is the thing that keeps the channel going, and it is the thing that keeps me doing this every single day. So to the people who can, make that expense, which I know money's sucks these days. So I do appreciate everyone who is willing to chip in and keep the channel going. Thank you guys so much for that. So I wasn't actually thinking about doing a news roundup this week because the news was actually pretty thin. And of course the holidays are going to do that. But there was some interesting things that came up that I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to wait a week on it. And I didn't want to do some like gigantic news roundup thing next week. So we're just going to go ahead and do it now. And it's going to start with one of the biggest things. Someone got their hands on what is supposedly the Studio Series Leader Class Scourge from Rise of the Beasts, our very first look at the toy for the main villain. It's not much of a look. So it does have this terrible watermark on it, which makes it annoying to look at in the first place. It is also hideously mistransformed. We can see that there's no chest plate that is apparent. It looks like the whole thing is like rotated the wrong way around. Or potentially not gauging by the arm, so there might just be parts missing on this thing. Either way, it is not the greatest look, but it does give us some idea of what to expect with this toy. It seems like we have this one like claw-fingered hand on the left side. On the right side, we've got this big underslung sickle blade. And whatever this blaster cannon thing is on the side, my nose is really itchy today, sorry. Random tangent. But no, it at least kind of confirms like the tone we are going for. And it's actually interesting to see Hasbro go with such a dark, muted figure, which is not typically their style. Also, I'm noticing these hits of translucent orange here or there. There's a little bit of like classic Fallen vibe hitting that. If we didn't already have the Fallen, I would say that this would be a good one. But it is, the movie take on Scourge or Scourge. I'm trying to break that. But it's looking okay so far. Just like we need a better look, because this is muddling a lot of the detail on this toy. This watermark, I do not know. Do you really want the credit for like possessing a stolen figure so badly that you're gonna watermark the whole thing like this? I don't know, just weird. But no, first looks are typically like this, so we'll just let our imaginations fill in the blanks and wait for someone to get a better example of the toy. Alright, moving on from there. So, we officially have like confirmed that, this hound that popped up through eBay is in fact going to be another Walmart reissue in their retro G1 line, done in much more cartoon accurate colors, which I think is a really interesting direction to go in for reissues. Definitely feels like I'm getting something a little bit fresher and a little bit more interesting. Like there's still that part of me that would love the inverse, where we take like the dead accurate to G1 toys, but they're articulated. Like, I would still love that as far as a retro line, but it requires new molding. This is just a paint job. However, we now have a brand new listing that there is also a Retro 4 in the works. No clue on what it is. All we have is the product number and the EAN, and that does not tell us anything. It is 4 per case, which the only thing I can glean from that is that it's probably around the same size as Hound. And I don't think you're going to get anything that isn't from any, like, previous reissues. So, like, don't go looking for, like Retro G1 Grimlock or anything, because we know those molds are lost, and they haven't wanted to eat the budget to reproduce those molds just yet. It's Grimlock. I can't imagine why they wouldn't, really. But we do know there's another one on the way, so it's actually kind of cool. Like, apparently, I hope the response on these are really interesting, because there's a lot of G1 toys I've never gotten to mess with, but I don't necessarily need them to be dead accurate to the original. I'd still like to get something a little bit more intriguing and interesting, and I think these G1 cartoon repaints are actually interesting. So we got a 4th one on the way. guess it's somewhere around the same size as Hound, and probably something else that has been like reissued over time. So you're thinking like Prowl, like Prowl I could see, and preferably something that was probably in the 86 movie, because I think I'm going to go with that, even though Hound screen time was next to none. But that's about the most we can guess off of it. Speaking of, if you're looking for those retro G1s, Starscream actually did get sighted. It is available in the wild. Now, the release date for this is actually mid-January, so it's only like a 2-week jump or so, but it is cool to see that it is out there a little bit early. You can go and hunt it down now. So, if anyone's after it, go take a look at Walmart. You never know. We're going to follow through with Seekers, and we're going to look at our very first shot of Legacy Core Class Thundercracker. This is going to be for Legacy Evolution, I assume. And there's two things we can glean from this. Number one, they've apparently already ditched the combining weapon thing that the Core Class toys were doing, because he does not come with any new weaponry. For the best, I would say. I don't think that gimmick, that idea, ever really worked. I don't think it really produced anything noteworthy. And I'm not upset to see that it lasted one wave. Also, the other thing we can glean, Skywarp collectors are going to be furious, because there is no indication that he comes with a spare set of guns to complete your Skywarp, and now Skywarp just gets to be the odd duck out without his null rays on his arms. I hate when they do that, and it's a recurring theme in a weird way, where like at least one of the Seekers just does not get treated the same way, and it's almost always Skywarp, by the way. That's the weird thing to it. So yeah, this one is gonna irk some people. It's good to see that it's coming with the null rays, but we really need an avenue to get the null rays from Skywarp, even if that's just like a package refresh that ditches the original, the dumb slingshot he came with. It's just it's a weird situation. I hate when they do things like this. So now moving on to something that isn't a Transformers line, but we can talk about it here. So, the Surprise Toy Minibrands. If you've never looked into these, it's basically like little package imitations of various different toy lines that you can like set up little toy shop play sets of your own and stock it with whatever little toys from these sets you collect. And it's a goofy little line. It's kind of in that Shopkins vibe of just like micro collectible things. And these are not really noteworthy for anything on News Roundup, except for now, because they're going to actually be doing Transformers. And strangely enough, not only are they doing Cyberverse Transformers in this line, but they're doing Spark Armor in this line. Now keep in mind, you will not be able to play with these. These are not like transformable. These are not functional. I think you can take them out of the package, and they're just like a little tiny micro mini imitation of the thing, but it's just going to be like a solid statue Optimus Prime. So don't get any crazy ideas, but this is going to be an interesting novelty for Cyberverse collectors, I think. Oh, and these are blind packaged, by the way, so good luck finding them. Yeah, if we look at the listing, like they do a ton of these things, and there's a ton of brands that you can spot looking at this. I see Angry Birds, I see Piggy, I see Beyblade of all things, and I see Magic the Gathering, I see Mousetrap and Sorry, and there, if you look in the bottom left on the top row of this cell, you see not only the Optimus, but you also see the Megatron. So you're gonna have two of them. It looks like it doesn't go beyond that, but if this is just the start of it, I can imagine them doing a lot more beyond this, which could create something of an interesting little micro collection. You imagine this gets big enough and you could have your own little play set set up on a desk that's just like stocked with these micro transformers, like your own little transformer store. That'd actually be kind of cool. That'd actually be kind of neat. I'd keep my little minifigures like standing around with like shopping carts full of stuff. But yeah, just something for you random collectors out there, because that's about as random as it gets. We have official video and in-hand images for Masterpiece Trailbreaker. This thing is available to buy right now. People have been getting it in hand, reviewing it, transforming it, etc. And we got some official ones from Takara as well. Now, if you know me, if you've been watching the channel long enough, you know I am a Trailbreaker guy. I really liked him as a kid. I don't even know why, because I'm not a pickup truck guy, and it's not even the most interesting color scheme. But for whatever reason, I actually find myself really liking Trailbreaker. And looking at him now, like, the more I looked at the Masterpiece toy, the more it just, like, it's such a good pog face. In my Discord, which is currently not public, you have to be signed up to my Patreon in order to join my Discord right now. That is we have an emote of that pog face Trailbreaker. But yeah, the more I see of this, like, the more, like, odd it looks. Like, it looks like the hips, like the pelvis section isn't wide enough. Like, I don't like the shoulders floating out from the sides. And I know that's necessary for articulation, but, like, there's just something about him that the more I see in hand, the more I'm like, I don't really know if I need this or not. Like, I've been waiting for a Masterpiece Trailbreaker for a long time, but I'm not sure it's really doing it for me. So I'm a little bit torn. I'm not sure if it's something I really want to go after here. Like there's something, like, super weird about how, like, bulky his torso looks here with how tiny his pelvis looks. I don't know. I'm still wavering on it. I'm still like, I don't know. I'm one way or another. But the toy is out. Probably the last time News Roundup gets to talk about him. So here he is. Go off, enjoy. We've got another look at the Junkion motorcycles. Someone else got it, and someone else reviewed it, so we can take a look at some of the screenshots from that review, and yeah, it's still looking interesting. I do know, I've done my research now. There is no sidecar included with this. It's something you can cobble together from the truck Junkion, which is a neat little bit of functionality between the two. I like that. And I like how this one kind of takes a few hits and a few liberties from the Generations Wreck-Gar toy and its asymmetrical leg design for transformation. It's a nice little callback to that, intentional or not. These two make a really good match duo. Not only the colors, but the styling definitely stands out from a standard Transformer in a way that I really, really like. And yeah, like if this becomes like a whole line, if they do a ton of these different detachable and combinable Junkions, yeah, this could be way more interesting to me than Fossilizers, which was way more interesting to me than Weaponizers. It looks cool. It looks cool. I like the look of it. It suits Junkion without, like, looking just like a random Wreck-Gar retool. I think that's really important, especially being a motorcycle in the same colors. It's like, avoid just looking like Wreck-Gar, and it manages to do that pretty well. Yeah, and I really, really liking how this looks. You can see Optimus with a VTOL pack, I guess. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to these Junkions. These actually look super cool. Yeah. Moving on. Like I said, it's kind of a slow news week because of the holidays, so I'm throwing in a few things that I wouldn't normally talk about, but I have in the past, so we'll throw them in now. Our friends over at the Sunbound Marvel Archive have uploaded a full script for The Killing Jar. This was a weird episode where Cyclonus, Ultramagnus, Wreck-Gar, and Marissa Fairborn get captured by a Quintesson, and everyone gets dragged into a different dimension that screws up everyone's colors in these weird ways that for some reason Hasbro and even FunPub never thought to repaint a character into. It would not be the prettiest thing, but I'm kind of waiting for these colors to come out on the official toys. The Cyclonus especially, because the Cyclonus in yellow doesn't look bad at all. So yeah, if you want a little bit of, like, the behind the scenes stuff and to see what the script to a G1 cartoon episode looks like, especially in the weirdness that was season 3, you can now go look. And we're going to finish off with these. So eHobby is doing more of these super deformed Transformer cards. This is wave 5 of them, so they've gone on for quite a while now, and these always have some really interesting character choices to them. So I think these are actually fun to look at. So we get Astro Train and Broadside, so your triple changers, pretty obvious, not too surprising there. Optimus Prime gets a brand new one. It's done in his Hero Optimus mold. That's cool. Giaxus gets one. That's interesting. You can also see in the bottom left you have all of these. You've got all of these symbols. You have all these like trademarks, or not trademarks, but like serial numbers. That's the word I was trying for. And you can see that on the bottom right, like in the G1 toys, it matches them, and then they come up with the ones for their own. Offhand, I don't know what TRF1 stands for. It's not Generation 2. I'm not sure. I'm not going to wager a guess either. But it is always in some kind of reference to their original series. So you'll see some here, like TF Pretender for Iguanus there. Look below him. This is the first time we've gotten RID. This is the first time that RID has gotten any toys, or even car robots, has gotten anything in this card line. And it's Bruticus, of all things. Bruticus got this little premium card thing. TFRID. It's even labeled to match the G1. It's labeled to match the original American toy line. It's bizarre. It's such a weird choice. It even includes like drawings of all of his faces. It's weird. It's cool, but it's weird. To think Bruticus has new merchandise in 2023. Let's see, who else we got? We got Menasor and the Stunticons. We got the Aerial Bots and Superion. Okay, that's kind of neat. They include them all. Some keychains, some like rubberized keychains too. Shockwave in Action Master colors, strangely enough. Soundwave, Starscream, Bludgeon, Octopunch. Octopunch has a keychain you can now buy. Oh god, I can't even remember his name. Stranglehold? I get really lost on the pretenders. I'm going to go with Stranglehold and be wrong. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. So these continue to be the super weird collectibles, making these super weird choices, which kind of makes them fun. Nothing I'd go out of my way for, but interesting to know they exist. That kind of thing. And that's going to do it for our news roundup for the week. So like I said, kind of light, not a whole lot of major news stuff going on, but enough that we can talk about, and I do think a lot of this is actually kind of fun to go over. So thank you guys for watching me. Welcome to the TJOmega channel of 2023, where I have big plans in mind, big videos to make, and a whole lot of stuff I need to catch up on. So stay tuned, it's all coming, and I will let you know when it's out. So, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.